Well, the SD card is full.
Oh.
I don't think that means it can't record, but it may mean that. So I don't know. We'll just try.
So I know Patty has probably already gone to the beach to be with her grandkids. If she comes, they haven't left yet. Carol has taken her granddaughter back to Nova, so she won't be here. That's all I know about.
Okay, well, good to know. I think it's going to be a small gang and the classic gang.
Yeah.
Which is what I think of you guys.
Yeah.
You're the classic gang.
Yeah. I was thinking, driving here, that wondering if you were going to give us some sort of certificate.
I sure do a certificate. Yeah. Okay.
He needs a ribbon.
Yeah, a little badge.
Yeah.
You know what would be great is like a card that you can flash.
Yeah.
And people like, you can put it in your wallet and then you can be like, yeah. Excuse me, I have some yoga questions. You can flip it at them. Dawn was asking if I was going to give them a certificate, give you guys a certificate for having completed. I just brought donuts instead.
Okay, well that's even better.
This is great because I got a dozen. So you guys can all have an entire donut, and then I got so many donuts to take home to Matthew. I'm so excited.
Hey Don, you know how in sports they used to give you a certificate of participation?
Yeah.
I think maybe that's what we could get, is a certificate of participation. Definitely not mastery.
I would put a turtle on yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. The turtle award.
Yeah.
They do, at the end of marching band, they do something called the paper plate
Excellent.
awards. And everybody gets a paper plate award. It's just a paper
I
plate
know,
that has something written on it with your name.
I'm so tired.
So Gretchen got the splits award because she kept trying to do the splits all week.
Oh,
That was hers. And Matthew got the peak award because every time, I guess peak is a new word they use when something's really good. You say it's peak.
oh,
That's peak.
Yeah.
And he found a meme, a peak meme for his chat group. And you know, every time they did something well, he would send the text. I'll tell you the story later.
okay.
It's a sweet one.
Okay.
You could just remind me later. Tell me that sweet story. All right, so we give everybody one more. Oh, it's two. Now it's two, classic gang. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody got enough room and a pillow? Anyone need a pillow or anything? You're all by yourself over here on the side. Don't take it personally.
No, it's the ship on your right that goes on your left. Something like that.
No, we're just all creatures of habit, right? Mormon cheers. All right, so you can start to come toward the edge of your chair, maybe, and find your feet on the floor. And I'll just remind you, classic gang, that you can take or leave anything that you want. It's all just a buffet for your use. And today I thought we would do our class a little upside down. So I'm going to do it kind of a little different order. And then we're going to end with subtle stretches that can be done in church or wherever you think you could get away with doing those stretches, right?
I pointed out to somebody that when the preacher gets up there, you know how when hard of hearing or people who can't hear, they give signs. You could come up and show while I'm preaching and show the different moves you could.
That match what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good thought. Let's workshop that. Let's see how that goes. All right, so you want to see if you can find that nice alignment. You might just start by pressing your feet into the floor a little bit and then seeing if you can find some alignment from maybe start with the head, and that's aligned right over the heart, which is aligned right over the hips, and then the hips stretch out to the knees, which stretch right over the ankles and toes, right? So just take a second to find that. And you might roll your shoulders up, back and down, kind of drop them down back. And then let's draw the hands into the center to your heart. You can close your eyes for a moment. See how it feels to lift your heart up to meet your hands just a little bit. And let's get a good 360-degree inhale and exhale. Just take a moment to really feel a little bit of expansion. And then a little bit of release when you let go of the inhale. And when you're ready, we're going to start with our circle of joy today. So let's inhale. Exhale, interlace the fingers and send the hands out in front of you as you round through the spine a little bit. You might just keep the movements kind of small to start. So let's inhale, slowly, slowly, slowly take the hands up above the head. And let's come over gently to one side, maybe just a little bit to start. Inhale to center, and exhale over the other side. Inhale to center. Exhale, let that go and send some energy out the fingertips nice and slow. Just find a spot behind your hips that feels good. You can interlace your hands behind your tailbone if that feels nice, or you can just put them behind your hips. And let's get a little lift in the sternum. You might look up a little bit. Big inhale. When you exhale, let the hands come back to your heart. Nice, big breath in. Exhale, interlace and send the hands out in front as you round through the spine, maybe a little bit more this time. Inhale, take the arms up above the head. Exhale over to one side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, other side. Little half smile. Inhale to center. Exhale, let everything go as you lift, lengthen through the spine. Find a comfy spot for your hands to be as you find a little bit of lift in the sternum and a nice extension through the crown of the head. Big inhale. Exhale, hands back to your heart. And of course you know this very well, so just go with your own breath. You're welcome to follow me or just do it in your own time. Leave out anything that doesn't feel good to you and skip to the parts that do feel good. Here we go. You might see if you can hear yourself breathing. Come in for circle of joy. Whenever you're ready, take your time. Let's do at least one more round for Sandy, right? So whenever you're ready, you can come into your nice seated position, but you know this very well by now, so just come in whenever you're ready. Here we go. Breath in. Let the movement be guided by the breath first. That's your most important job, is to just breathe. You might see, I felt like I wanted to take my head left and right, so you might see if there's anything you want to do with your head or neck or shoulders. You may already be tired and want to come into a child's pose. If so, just go for it. We're going to start with our feet and legs today, so let's give them a little bit of a massage or a tap or both. Find what feels good to you today to get a little blood flow going. Movement in the joints, fluid in the joints. You might massage through your knees a little bit. Nice round circles. Big breath in through the nose, maybe let it out through the mouth. And then when you're ready, you can walk your feet out to a wider position. It's a little wider than your hips. And let's start with that left leg. You can kind of walk that left leg out and see if it feels good to get a little stretch in the left leg. So you're sort of taking your legs wide, or you can take them in front too. That's good. So everybody find just an outward stretch for your left leg that feels nice to you. And you can kind of point and flex a little bit, see what feels nice right here. And if that's all feeling good, see if you can take your right arm and inhale that one up, and then extend it over that leg and see if you can ground through your right hip so you feel really nice and grounded. And you can even take that left hand and reach towards your right hip, left and right confused. Big breath in here, stretching through the side and the hips. And then when you're ready, let it come back to center. Everybody feel okay? That's a big stretch. Make sure you really breathe. And then you can slide this leg back in and take it to the other side. Just take your time. You can point and flex for a minute. Find that sits bone connection to the chair that feels best to you in this position. Find some stability in your other leg, your grounded leg. And then when you're ready, you can inhale the left arm up this time and exhale up and over. You can take that right hand and reach it towards your right hip, reminding your right hip to stay nice and grounded. Big breath in and out. And when you're ready, inhale that arm back up. And exhale down. And then you can kind of slide that right leg back in. And let's walk our feet back into center. And let's take a little toe lift, tiptoes up, and then press them back into the ground. So inhale, lift up to your tiptoes. Exhale, roll through your feet nice and slow and press into your heels. And just do that on your own breath a few times. See if as you do that, can you lift through your sternum a little bit? Can you find a little length out of the crown of the head? Maybe you can draw your navel into your spine a little bit so you have some integrity in the upper body. And then in the lower body, we're just thinking about keeping everything kind of nice and aligned. So you've got your little puppeteer string lifting you up on the breath, and then exhaling, rolling back through the feet. Let's just do one more. And then how about we ground through our right leg first. And let's draw the navel into the spine. Feel that nice puppeteer string on your left leg and lift it up. And just hold it there for a moment. And then back down. And we'll do it on the other side. So ground through your left leg this time. Nice little lift on the right leg. You guys are experts. Find a little lift up the crown of the head. A little half smile. Exhale, put it down. This time, you're welcome to just keep doing that because that's great, right? If you want this time, ground through your right leg, lift through the left leg, and you can hold your leg underneath and just roll your foot in some ankle circles. Back and forth. Make sure you breathe. I'm already holding my breath in this position. I don't know if that happens to you. So just make sure you can hear yourself breathing. You can feel the breath coming in and out. Point and flex a few times. Draw the navel into the spine. Inhale. Exhale, put it down. And give it a little massage. Good work, leg. And then round through that left leg, and let's lift up on the right leg. Whenever you're ready, take your time. Don't let anybody rush you. You can grab underneath the leg if that feels good, under the thigh. And you can start to rotate the ankle. You can also, play with some balance if you want. Hold your hands up. Take it in a tree. I don't know, whatever feels good. Just make sure you keep breathing, whatever you're doing. Point flex a few times. Big inhale, smile, and put it back down as you exhale. And can you feel the work? Yeah. And then let's see, you're welcome to do any of that again. You can also just take a little stretch out in front of you if you want, if you need a stretch, so just do that. But let's do some leg pulses this time and a little stretch. So round through your right leg, draw the navel into the spine, find a little bit of energy out of the crown of the head, lift up that left leg, and let's just pulse it. So you can hold if you want, or you can sort of just try a little balance. Just some small pulses. You guys look great. Make sure you breathe. This is the one that's really easy to hold. And then when you're ready, draw your hands around the shin if that feels good, or under the thigh, and give yourself a nice little stretch. So everybody find the one that feels good to you. If it doesn't look like mine, that doesn't matter at all. Just breathe. And when you're ready, you can gently, lovingly set that foot back on the ground. And then give it a little rub, give the leg a little good rub. And when you're ready, ground that left leg in this time. Draw the navel into the spine, find a little energy out of the crown of the head. That looks so good. Inhale this leg up, this right leg, and we'll pulse it a few times. Make sure you breathe. Finding some length. I mean, this is so subtle, I can't even tell you guys are doing this right now. So I'm thinking we could all get away with this during church. Just looking attentive on the face. You're listening. You're totally there. You do a few pulses. And then when you're ready, you can grasp the shin or under the thigh and give yourself a little nice stretch. Doesn't matter how it looks, we're just going to breathe. Find a little alignment. Inhale, and when you're ready, exhale, and put that back down. That's such good work, you guys. Can we widen the legs one more time? Walk them back out. This time we're going to take it to the spine and the hips. So maybe just start to come into a very small around the world. You can put your hands on your thighs. That's where I have mine. Or you can rest them on the pew in front of you. Or you can put them on the pew next to you, the seat next to you, whatever feels good. Most important is that you breathe. I think it makes sense to breathe as you bring the sternum forward. And exhale as you sort of round through the spine and take the head in kind of a bow. Take it nice and slow. And whenever you're ready, make sure you inhale and you can go the other way. See what happens if you sort of imagine somebody's holding your head in place a little bit so that this movement is a little bit more in the spine and the rib cage than it is in the head. And if it feels good to you, you might walk those sitting bones up a little bit and just lean the right shoulder forward and open up to the left side just a little bit. Big inhale. Exhale, take it back to center. Does everybody feel okay with that or found a version that feels good? Feel free to use the pew in front of you so you can find your comfy version. Let's take the left shoulder forward this time and open up to the right side. Big inhale, big exhale. Back to center. And I'm going to grab my makeshift pew here so that we can come into a little child's pose. But from the child's pose, we're going to do our open up in a second. All right, so everybody just find a good child's pose that feels good for a second. Get comfy in your hips. Get a good inhale into the low rib cage. Let the belly relax a little bit. Maybe take one breath where you really see if you can hear yourself breathing. And when you're ready, take that right hand and rest it on the pew and open up super slow. The left hand goes up and you open up through the armpit chest. And you maybe gaze out past your hand. Maybe you nod your head a little bit, play with that. Keep the feet nice and rounded and planted. Get a gigantic inhale. Exhale, take that arm back nice and slow. Hopefully it felt amazing. If there's anything that didn't feel good on that side, then do a little bit less when we take it to the other side right now. Make sure that your breathing is what's gigantic. So let's take a nice deep breath and let's open up to the right side this time. Super slow, let that whole arm open. You might wiggle your fingertips. You can nod your head up and down. That feels good. Big inhale, nice stretch to the armpit chest, and exhale, take it back down to your child's pose. And you guys hang out there while I turn my page. And let's see if we can do to come out of our child's pose today. And of course, as you know, you're welcome to stay there as long as you like. See if you can feel your sitting bones nice and grounded to the seat. And you can be aware of the tailbone. And see if you can start the lift from the tailbone. So we're going to sort of roll up one vertebra at a time. And you might take the arms up overhead when you get there. Big inhale. Inhale, exhale, take it over to your left side and find a comfy stretch here using your pew to help you, so you can put your front arm on the front pew and your back arm on the seat behind you if that feels good. And lift through the sternum there, take a couple of nice deep breaths. You can also rest that back hand down behind your low hip, whatever feels good to you here. Finding a lift in the sternum, lengthen out the crown of the head. Beautiful. Then a great breath in. And exhale. Let's just let yourself float back to center. Everybody feel okay? That was a big stretch and we held it for a while. So just listen to your body. If you don't want to stay, no problem. Let's inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, take them over to the right side. Find a comfy spot for both of your hands to rest. So you're using the pew to help you find a nice length at the crown of the head, a little lift in the sternum. And then if that feels good, you can twist a little bit more. Make sure you have that breathing and the alignment in place. So it really doesn't matter how much we twist. It just matters that we breathe and we give ourselves a little bit of an opportunity to move with intentional alignment. Big breath in. Exhale, let it come back to center. And then let's maybe take a couple of just regular old cat-cows, which Gail discovered you can do in the car. How nice is that? So inhale, take the sternum forward, take the nose up toward the ceiling, find some extension through the spine. Exhale, round through the spine. Take the chin to the chest. Feel a good stretch through the shoulder blades. Inhale, take that sternum forward, drop the shoulders down as you let the crown of the head lengthen up, tailbone lengthens in the opposite direction. Going sort of slow so you can really think about what's happening when you do this. You know that you can also do this move much smaller, but just do it in your own time and on your own breath. Just a few of these cat-cows. Whatever you're doing is perfect as long as it feels okay to you and you are breathing. When you're ready, you can come back to your nice extended seat, and let's come into our child's pose, and then we're going to walk it over to one side. So just take a moment to rest and take a good breath in and out. You can just stay here. If this feels like a good stretch, then feel free to just stay here. Or you can take your hands on the pew and you can walk your hands over to the left side. And you can get a good stretch through the left side of the body. So you're using your pew even though I don't have one, right? Find one that feels good to you, a way that feels good to do this. Big breath in. And walk it back as you exhale. Walk it back to the center. Take a rest if you like. Big breath in and out that you can hear all the way in and all the way out. And when you're ready, you're welcome to walk your hands back over to the right side if you've got some room on the pew. Take a good stretch through the right side of the body. Ground through the right hip. Feel your feet nice and connected. Big breath in. When you're ready, walk the hands back to your child's pose. At least one gigantic, restful, lovely breath here. And then we'll roll through the spine again, starting at the tailbone. Feeling a nice vertebra by vertebra stacking as you come to the top. So you're maybe a little bit taller, maybe a half inch, I don't know. Take a couple of shoulder rolls here, and then maybe we'll take that a little bit bigger so you can take your hands to the shoulder tops. And you can inhale, take your elbows to kiss in the center. Get a good stretch through the shoulder blades. And on your next inhale, take those elbows up. Feel like they're traveling up and you're getting a really good stretch through the side of the body. Inhale, take the elbows back and squeeze your shoulder blades together like you have a pencil between them. It's a big one. And now we're gonna speed it up. So you can take it smaller if you want. If any of these particularly feel good to you, then you can stop and hang out there for a little while. It's nice if you can sort of feel like you're drawing circles with your elbows. And you're really paying attention when you bring the elbows back, that you're kind of drawing your shoulder blades together actively. These are muscles I did not even discover I had until I was in my 30s. I really wish I had discovered those guys earlier. That would have been good. And they really help you maintain that sternum lift, and they change the way you breathe. They even change your soft palate on the inside. The trapezius muscles are connected to your soft palate. What? Via a bunch of nerves? Yes, for real. Okay, let's take it to the other direction because I yacked a lot. So just a few times in this other direction, nice and slow, no rush. How are your feet doing? How's your half smile? Really good for the shoulder joints, right? And then just let everything relax. You can close your eyes for a moment or let your gaze relax down past your nose. Just take a moment, and then we're gonna inhale, take that left arm across the body. You can just take it, this is a stretch we've done in lots of classes, right? See if you can sort of extend some energy out the left fingertips. Drop the left shoulder blade down a little bit as you lengthen out of the crown of the head. Big inhale. And exhale. And if it feels okay to you, you might take your head over that left shoulder a little bit. You're going to stretch through the right side of the neck. Inhale. Exhale, take it back to center and just stay there for a second. Look over your left shoulder. Why not? Big inhale. Exhale, let everything relax. And then just take a second to notice, I feel pretty different now on one side to the other. I don't know if you do. It's okay if you don't, whatever you feel is great. We're gonna inhale, we'll take the right arm across the body this time. You can grasp the wrist in whatever way feels good. You can do one of these, you can grasp from above, just find a version that feels good to you. We're gonna drop that right shoulder down, find some energy out the left fingertips, little stretch through the arm itself. Big inhale. Exhale if you like. You can let that right ear relax over the right shoulder so that you're getting a little stretch through the left side of the neck. Find whatever version feels good to you. It's perfect, whatever you're doing. Big inhale. Exhale, take it back to center wherever you are, and then you are invited to look over that right shoulder. You are also invited to just let this go and breathe at any time it feels like too much. Big inhale and exhale, let everything relax. Rest for just a moment. Feel free to come into a nice child's pose if that feels good, or just close your eyes, relax your gaze for a moment. If anything feels tight, if anything's screaming at you, for sure, make sure that you just do less and more breath, less stretch, right? Okay, and let's take a big breath, and let's take the arms out to a star. And then we exhale, we always have to think about this. Take your left arm underneath your right arm. So you're making sort of an X. And from here, you can either give yourself a big hug, that's a really nice one for the stretch in the back, right? If you feel like you want a little bit more, you can come into a little eagle arm right here, where you sort of take your palms and you bring them together. And if that feels weird or strange, don't worry about it. Do your self-hug, that's perfect. Self-hug is great. So just find a version. It's also great if you want to do one of these. That is also awesome. So find the version that feels good to you. Get a good breath. As we know, the breath is the most important thing. Find a little lift in the sternum, maybe, a little length out of the crown of the head. Big inhale where you can really feel the stretch across the back body. And exhale, let it go. So this time, everybody remember what was on top? The left arm was on top. This time it'll be the opposite one, okay? Is that right? You guys have it, right? No. time we're taking our right arm above our left arm, or whatever you did before. Gosh, I gotta work on my right and left. Not a strong suit. Self-hug here. And if it feels good, you can take your palms and you can do a little cross, right? So you're like Janet Jacksoning right now. And then if you want, you can bring the palms together. Or just give yourself a hug. Or laugh at yourself. Also all good, right? All good. Give yourself a good pat. Big inhale. Exhale, let everything relax. That was so good. And whatever we did, I got a good stretch through here. I hope you did too. All right, let's do the one where we inhale our left arm up. Exhale, snake it back behind the low back, right? And if that doesn't feel good, then just let it rest next to your left hip. It's all good, whatever feels good. This just gives you a little bit more stretch to the shoulder, right? We're gonna inhale our right arm up. Exhale, take it over the side. And if it feels good, that hand that's down low, your left hand, you can stretch it out. Big inhale. Big exhale as you come back to center. Let everything relax. And then we're going to even it out. Maybe do a little octopus sort of release here. Excellent. And then take your octopus up on your right side. Inhale, and then octopus or snake, whatever animal you like, it's going to come back behind your lower back or next to your seat. And we'll inhale the left arm up. And take it up and over. Most important is that we breathe. The stretches are all just dressing, really, for the breath and the alignment. Inhale, take it back to center. Exhale, let everything octopus back. Oh, and let's take our hands to prayer here. And just take your head into a little bow, nice reverent bow, so you get a good stretch through the back of the neck. Don definitely won't mind if he sees you doing this one at church. Right, Don?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Better than sleeping.
And then inhale, slow, slow, slow. Take your nose up a little bit so you're getting a little V-stretch through the front of the neck. Muscles that are a little harder to get at. Exhale, take your nose down. Prayer, reverent bow. Drop the shoulder blades down. Inhale, take the nose up. If you want, just take it up as much as feels good to you, of course. I don't need to keep saying that, but I will. And then bring your nose back to center and see how it feels. And this may not feel good to you, so just feel free to let it go. This is a little wrist stretch. So you can take the point of your prayer and just kind of slide it down so that your wrists are open, right? Let your shoulder blades relax. And so we can do that a couple times with your breath. If you just did that and was like, no, terrible, just do this one, just as good, right? Okay, inhale, take the fingertips down. See what happens if you press your hands together a little bit, lift through the sternum, soften through the shoulders. You can just do that a couple times, a little bit more quickly. Hopefully it does not hurt, but if it does, please listen. And then exhale, let everything come back to your lap. Guess what we're going to do now? We're going to stand for a little bit. Everybody okay to stand? As you know, it's always okay to also sit, right? So remember to press into your feet, draw the navel in toward the spine. Feel free to use your pew to help you get up there. And when you're here, maybe come into your superhero pose for just a moment. Hands on the hips, lifting to the sternum. A little bit of a smile on the face, drawing the shoulder blades together and down. And then from here, feel free to come into some nice hip circles. I love it. That was a good spine extension that you just did, A+. What I love about that is that don't you find you start to be like, oh, you know what? I want to do this stretch now, right? And then you know you're really owning your own yoga, which is so great. And one stretch leads you to want to do another one. Rather than run screaming from the building. So you might sort of pretend for a second like somebody's got your head, they're just gently holding your head still for you. Not in a vice, just nice and easy. And see if you can really move through the hips. These joints need a lot of love. And this invites more fluid. Whenever you're ready, you can breathe in and go the opposite direction. Feel free to make it as small a movement as you like. And if you're practicing a small one, then you can see if you can get away with that in church. See if anyone will notice. When you're ready, you can kind of let those circles get smaller and smaller until you're just in your nice superhero pose one more time. And you might just let the hands relax down so that you're in your standing mountain. Finding a little bit of, this is actually a yoga pose, right? You could do this one in the grocery store, right? Feeling the tailbone moving down toward the ground, crown of the head moving up toward the ceiling, shoulder blades drawing together and down the back, navel drawing in toward the spine. Love it, looks great, you guys. And then let's see if we can transfer the weight to the right leg, okay? And we're gonna find a nice little lift in the left leg, right? You feel free to use that pew in front of you. This is a little tree pose, okay? Now we're just gonna take a breath in and set it back down. And we're gonna transfer the weight to that leg, okay? We're gonna find a little lift in the right leg this time. Yep, feel free to hold on. We're gonna do it all again. And breath in, set it down. This time, I invite you to lift the leg a little bit higher if you like. I invite you to turn the knee out and find a place to rest on your standing leg, not the knee. Anywhere else is good, right? Or you can just lift it just like we did, or you can stand there and look gorgeous, or you can sit. The options are endless. All right, so let's shift our weight back to that right leg. Find a little way to puppeteer your right leg up. I invite you to turn the knee out so that your hips are facing forward. You can find a good spot to rest your foot on the standing leg, or just keep it going, right? It's also just as beneficial to hold that leg up a little bit and maybe play with your balance for a moment. If you want to play with your balance, you might find a little gaze at eye level out in front of you that you can sort of hold to help you with your balance. Take a good breath in, good breath out wherever you are. Help yourself to the pew to get yourself back to standing mountain. Everybody okay finding a version that works for them? Okay, no need to compete. Be very gentle, very kind, okay? Let's shift the weight to the left leg and find a little lift in the right leg. If that feels good and you want to come into tree pose, you can send that left knee out to the side, and then you can bring the foot to the shin of the standing leg. You can feel free to hold on. You can find a little focal point out in front of you, and you can play with your balance a little bit. You can also always come into a little, you can play with hands up. You can wave them a little bit. Big breath in, biggest breath you had all day. And exhale, gently sit it back down. Wonderful, such good hard work. If you want to come sit at any point, you can, but we're going to do one more option. And that is to just kind of walk your feet out to a nice wide stance. Okay, so that your feet are nice and supportive. You can take a good star pose. And then if you like, you can come into a little version of child's pose here, sort of a forward fold. So you can rest your head on your forearms. If you'd like more of a stretch in the back of the leg and the lower back, then you can walk your hands to the seat in front of you so that you're getting a nice stretch wherever you are in this position. Big breath in. Big breath out. And when you're ready, feel like you're pressing into your entire foot as you put your hands supportively on the pew in front of you, and roll up from the tailbone all the way up the crown. Everybody feel okay? Beautiful. We're going to walk our feet back in. Or you can hop if you really want to. And then we're gonna sit nicely and carefully, sending our sitting bones back toward the chair, drawing the navel into the spine, practicing sitting with our own muscles. Excellent. So take a second to just realign your hips and your knees and your ankles and toes. And if it feels good at this point, I'd love to invite you to take your left leg out in front of you for a little hamstring stretch. So kind of situate your hips or your sitting bones so that you can find a good, I love it. You guys are so awesome. Everybody finds a version that works for them. This is great. And you can maybe point and flex your foot a couple of times. And if you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can come into your little child's pose. Or if you're off to the side, you can just lean a little bit forward. It's good to engage through the thigh of that stretched out leg. And it might feel good to flex the toes back towards your face if you're in this little stretch. Big breath in. Big breath out. I think it feels really good, but if you're ready, you can go ahead and slide that back in. As you know, you can also always just do a child's pose. Wonderful. Now let's take it to the other leg. This is the right leg coming out. Find your version that feels good, that gives you space to stretch that leg out. Find a little engagement through that right upper thigh so that you're not putting too much hyperextension on your knee. And you can point and flex a few times. And if it feels good, you can find a little child's pose for the upper body. So just experiment with what feels good to you. Use these wonderful seats that are so supportive. Use them in whatever way, creative way you can find that allows you to get some stretching. Most important is the breath. It really doesn't matter the stretch much at all. It's just an invitation for more breath and more chances to be in alignment and move your body in a way that feels good. Big inhale. Big exhale. Whenever you're ready, you can roll up through the spine again and slide that leg back. Such a good stretch you guys got there. I was wondering if you would like to do a little lion's breath. So let's draw, of course it's always optional, draw everything in, sort of like you're squeezing your shoulders and squeezing your fists and squeezing your face. Breathe in, exhale, take a lion's breath, starfish palms. Stick out the tongue, open the eyes nice and wide. Inhale, take it all back in, make yourself nice and small. And on your exhale, nice and gigantic. Good for you, let's do one more time. And exhale. Love it. And let's just kind of rest in a child's pose. You guys did great. Big breath in. I'm going to take a second to wipe my mouth off after that. Wipe my chin. Okay, when you're ready, roll up from the tailbone up. And let's do our subtle stretches. Okay, so I'll let you know if I think it looks too obvious. Okay, but I think it's going to be good. All right, so first of all, the first one we can do is always our seated mountain, right? So you can always just be aware of where your sitting bones are on the seat and your feet and that length out of the crown of the head. Right? That's a yoga pose. It allows for more breath flow. It allows for more movement. It allows for easier standing when it's time to sing the hymn, right? The other thing you could do is in that position, you could start to roll your wrists around. I don't think anybody would notice if you did that. No biggie. You can switch directions. It's good if you can move through your fingertips a little bit. Don't you find they get a little stiff, right? They kind of just want to be held. So you can see how it feels to kind of move them one at a time. Most important is that you breathe. Exactly. So if you're doing that, then you are doing yoga. Speaking of breathing, you can take your hands to your belly. And you can just take a couple of breaths that really feel like you're expanding actively through the belly. When you exhale, you can almost sort of feel like that belly is drawing actively in toward the spine. So you're really moving actively through the belly on the inhale and on the exhale. I can't even tell you guys are doing yoga. It's really subtle. Yeah, it's really good. Inhale, exhale. And if you want to be a little bit braver, you can roll your shoulders just a little bit. I don't think anyone would mind if we did this one. You can go both directions a couple of times. So important. And maybe you would want to take your neck side to side, nice and you could just pretend you were looking over at that side of the congregation, just like checking it out, and then you'd be like, oh, I wonder what's going on over here. Oh. Banners are still there. I'm just checking to make sure all the banners are exactly where they're supposed to be. And then I'll just do one more sweep. Make sure everything is where it needs to be. Make sure you breathe along with that. I mean, I don't think anyone would mind if we also did one of these. Like, maybe somebody just asked you something. Be like, I'm not sure about that. You could let it go to the other side and think about it some more. Big breath in. I don't know about you, but I hear a lot of crunching when I work with my neck. So daily neck hygiene is probably a good thing for all of us to do. And I don't think anybody would mind if they saw us taking a couple of circles with our nose. As we breathe in, as we take the nose up, we breathe out as we take it down. Maybe we give ourselves a couple of gigantic circles. You never know, like if we do this, take a breath in and switch directions. Maybe somebody else will be inspired to do it. Maybe it will have that lovely ripple effect that when any one of us attends to our breathing, cares for ourselves, then that allows somebody else to do the same thing. Maybe you can even take a little mini spinal twist. Let's see how subtle your spinal twist can be. So maybe put your right hand out in front of you, and then just open up to the right side a little bit. I mean the left side, sorry, my bad. That is very subtle. And I mean, maybe you want to talk to the person behind you, so you put your back arm up on the back of you. And you say, oh, good morning, how are you? And then maybe you nod your head down a little bit, or you shake your head no. And then you take it back to the center, and you take your left hand to the pew, and you just open up a little bit to the right side. And maybe you want to put your hand back there on the back. Nod your head at your neighbor. Good morning. And then big inhale, exhale, let everything come back. You know what else you can do is anything with the feet. Anybody's going to know if you move your feet unless your row is full of people. Right here's your most subtle, is coming up to your tiptoes on the inhale, and then exhale, rolling back through your feet. I can't even tell. You're just looking at me, can't tell you're doing yoga. So simple. A couple of those. We already know we can stretch the foot out in front. I think you guys look like you're just at a church service, totally normal. You can point and flex. You could even lean forward just a little bit. I'm really listening. I am listening. And then you can take it to the other side, nice and gentle. Just real subtle, plenty small, pointing and flexing. You can find a little rolling in the ankle if that feels good, little circles. And then you can just do a really subtle lean forward. And how about without, oh, how about this one? I think we can all do this one without. So take your hands, you can interlace them behind your tailbone, or you could just press them into the seat behind you. So you can get a little bit of a lift in the sternum, drawing your shoulder blades together, a little extension out the crown of the head. Big smile, and exhale, super subtle, coming back to normal. Maybe you can give your knees a massage. Wouldn't your knees love a massage during church? Absolutely. Nice, small, slow, pumpy circles. You can even warm up your hands before you do this, as you know, so that that feels good, like you put a heating pad on your knees or something. Go in the other direction. So does everybody have a good repertoire of things you can subtly treat yourself to anytime you're sitting here? Or in a meeting, right? In the car, maybe some of those can be done in the car. Not too many. Be careful with that. All right, so before we go into Shavasana, let's just do a little counted breathing. And this is another great thing that I think you can do and no one will know. So take a second to just find your sitting bones, find a little length out of the crown of the head. Let's breathe in for your count of 2, whatever your count of 2 is. And breathe out for 3. Do that again, just in for 2, out for 3. And you can stick with that, or you can breathe in for 3, and out for 4. In for 3, out for 4. And you guessed it, maybe you want to breathe in for 4 this time. And out for 5. Breathing in through the nose for 4. And maybe this time you want to let it go through the mouth. To 5. One more like that. And you can extend that as long as you like. Should we try 1 today, where we breathe all the way in for 6, and we breathe all the way up for 12? If you don't make it, who cares? No problem. Just breathe in whenever you need to. Here we go. Breath in through the nose. And breathe out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then sometimes when you breathe out that long, you get a really good, spontaneous, lovely inhale. So I invite you to try all of those things on a daily basis, whether you're with me or out and about in the world. And let's come into our Shavasana pose, whatever feels good to you. You can come to the floor, you can come into a nice seat with a pillow behind your lower back. You can lie down on the pew. Just find a position that feels good to you where you can really rest for a moment. And you can let the eyes start to close or the gaze just drift down past your nose. And you might see if you can really let the shoulders relax down. And let's try another unconscious way of breathing, where we imagine that little heart. And as we breathe in, the heart expands, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And as we exhale, it grows smaller and more concentrated. We sort of end the breath feeling like that heart just came right back to where our heart is. And if the image of it be expanding and contracting heart doesn't work for you or doesn't feel organic to you, then you also know that you can count your breath. However long you breathe in, that you extend your exhale by just 1 count. So Feel free to try out both of those, the expanding heart or counting your inhale and exhale. And as you do that, you might start at the top of your head and see if you can feel some release and relaxation as you breathe out in the scalp. See if you can let that relaxation travel down to your forehead and between your eyebrows. See if you can let it travel down into your jaw and your tongue. Down the back of the neck. Down each arm, going from the shoulders to the elbow, all the way down to your wrists. Big breath in that expands, and on your exhale, see if you can feel softening in your fingers. Big breath in. See if on the exhale you can feel softening all down the spine. All the way down to your lower back. Maybe you feel a good breath into the pillow behind you or the seat behind you. Let that softening travel down to your hips. And all the way down your thighs and into your knees. Feel a big, expansive breath. And on the exhale, let that softening travel down below your knees all the way to your ankles. Another big breath in, and then let everything soften out every single toe. And I noticed that as I did that, I started to squint a little between my eyebrows. So I'm going to go back up there and soften there. Maybe you did that too. Or maybe you're aware that your fingers have started to clench again, or your jaw has clenched a little bit. So you can kind of go back through your scan as many times as you like. While you breathe in and out, to address those tense places and really let them relax. You can take a couple more breaths that acknowledge that big, expansive space that's available, and all the release and relaxation that's available on the exhale. And then I'll invite you to just let go of breathing in any particular way at all. And just let your breathing be really natural and really restful. And let go of any need to do anything or optimize anything. Yourself rest in this moment. Nothing to do, nowhere to be. And I'll invite you to extend a blessing of loving kindness to yourself. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. And when we say, may I live with ease, it doesn't mean that everything is easy. It just means may day-to-day life not be such a struggle. May I be safe. May I be happy. Be healthy. Live with ease. Now we'll send that blessing to the whole world. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings live with ease. May all beings be safe. Be happy. Be healthy. Live with ease. And without feeling any rush at all, feel free to stay as long as you like. But if you're ready to start moving a little bit, you can wiggle your fingers and your toes inside your shoes. And you can start to move your tongue and your mouth a little bit. You might want to roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Find any little movement that feels good to you as you bat your eyes open. Nice big breath. Take any last little stretch that feels good to you. Thank you so much for coming to practice yoga today. We nailed it. We went exactly 1 hour. Our sense of timing is getting really good. And I have donuts out there for you, and Gail brought fresh veggies from her garden, and they look gorgeous. They look like they were just
Bennett's wonderful garden. Please take all the cucumbers you like.
Bennett's garden too.
Bennett's garden too. Oh my gosh, you guys, I think it's so wholesome and wonderful that you have a garden together.
Well, and Marty and Tim are with us this year.
That's so wonderful. How lovely is that? Such a great, I don't know about you guys, but when intelligent, kind people do good things, it's like the best thing in the world, right? Mm-hmm. It's just the best feeling in the world. And you guys give me that feeling all the time. So I'm so grateful for you. And I'll keep you posted on when we're going to start back. I thought we'd start back in September. Does that, no pressure, but always happy to see you whenever it works for you.
Fridays in September?
And if anybody practiced with us live stream, we hope you'll continue to do that.
Will it be on Fridays?
Be on Fridays.
Oh, yeah.